Hey there, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into Brian Tracy's $1,000,000 Habits. We're going to break down the core ideas of what makes people successful into clear, powerful habits that, honestly, you can start building today. So, you ready? Let's get into it. All right, let's just start with the biggest question of all. Have you ever just looked around and wondered, what is the real difference? Why do some people just seem to soar, hitting massive success, while other people, who are just as smart and talented, seem to stay stuck? Well, according to Tracy, it is definitely not what most of us think. It's not about winning the lottery, it's not some random lucky break, and it's not even about being born with some kind of genius-level talent. The real answer is actually way more predictable. And the best part, it's something we can actually control. And the answer, believe it or not, is habits. This is the big idea. Brian Tracy says that a wild 95% of everything we think, feel, and do is run by our habits. They're kind of like the invisible operating system running your life in the background. So success isn't about one giant leap, it's about thousands of tiny, repeated steps. So where on earth do we start? Well, it all begins right here, in your mind. Before you can do something successfully, you have to think successfully. This first batch of habits, this is the foundation. Everything else gets built on top of this. And right here, this is a huge difference. You see, successful people are like architects for their lives. They intentionally design their habits to get them closer to their goals. Most other people, they just kind of let their habits happen by default, based on what's easy or what they've always done. And this difference in thinking changes everything. When you say, I can't afford it, it's a dead end. It literally shuts your brain down. But when you ask, how can I afford it? It's like you flip a switch. Your brain's creative problem-solving mode kicks on, and suddenly that obstacle becomes a puzzle to solve. So the very first habit of the mind is clarity. Most people have these vague, fuzzy wishes like, I want to be rich. Millionaires have crystal clear, written goals with hard deadlines. Think about it. A goal is your own personal GPS. Without a destination punched in, you're just wandering around. But with one, every single turn you make has a purpose. But listen, a great plan is totally useless if you don't have the engine to actually move forward. And that engine is self-discipline. Now, this isn't some magical power you're born with. Not at all. It's a skill. You train it, just like a muscle. It's that simple, powerful ability to just do the thing you need to do, especially on the days you really don't feel like it. Okay, so we have the mindset. Now let's talk about how that thinking turns into doing. Because look, the right mindset is the foundation, for sure, but action is what actually builds the skyscraper. This next set of habits is all about turning what's in your head into real-world results. One of the most powerful action habits out there is what Tracy calls eating the frog. It's a simple rule. Your frog is your biggest, ugliest, most important task of the day. And the rule is you have to eat it first thing, before you check your email, before you scroll on your phone. Getting that one big win out of the way creates this incredible momentum that just carries you through the rest of the day. You know how so many of us wait? We wait for the perfect time or until we feel 100% ready. But successful people, they have a bias for action. They just go. They get that moving forward is the only cure for fear and doubt. You don't think your way into acting differently. You act your way into thinking differently. So what's one of the best actions you can take? Investing in yourself. Tracy talks about this super powerful 3% rule. The whole idea is to take just 3% of your income and pour it right back into your own development. We're talking books, courses, seminars. This small, consistent investment has this compounding effect on your skills that makes it almost impossible not to become a top person in your field. Let's be real. We live in a world of a million distractions. So focus is a superpower. The most successful people are constantly asking themselves this one question: what is the most valuable use of my time right now? Answering that and being honest about it forces you to lock in on high-impact stuff and just ruthlessly get rid of everything else. And finally, let's talk about the habits that keep success going for the long run. These are the pillars, right? They support your wealth, your health, your relationships. They make sure that what you build is not only big, but that it actually lasts. Look, financial success isn't some complex secret. It's about simple discipline. The main habit is creating a gap between what you make and what you spend.
And you do that by paying yourself first out of every single paycheck, staying away from that soul-crushing bad debt, and then you use that extra money to invest in things that will build your future.
Okay, this is a big one that people skip over all the time. You can have the world's best goals and the perfect plan, but if you're exhausted and don't have the physical energy to do it, it's all useless. Millionaires treat their health like a priceless asset. Getting good sleep, eating well, exercising, these aren't luxuries. They are the fuel for high performance, period.
There's a really good reason you've heard the saying, your network is your net worth. It's because the people you choose to spend your time with literally set the bar for your own expectations. Millionaires are incredibly protective of their inner circle. They actively look for positive, ambitious people who are going to pull them up, not drag them down.
Wow, okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We've talked mindset, we've talked action, we've talked about the long game. So, how do we actually put this all together? Let's boil it all down into your personal action plan so you can lay that first super important brick. So here it is, your starter kit. And you can see how it all fits together, right? Your clear goals give your actions a direction. You fuel those actions with constant learning and physical energy. And you protect what you build with smart financial habits and a great network. You don't have to be perfect at all of them tomorrow. Just start with one. And that really brings us to the final and honestly the most important point of all. This isn't about waking up tomorrow as a totally different person. It's about choosing one small, positive change you can make today. So I'll leave you with this powerful question from the source. What one habit, if you started doing it right now, would have the greatest possible impact on your future? Because in the end, your habits create your destiny. So choose them wisely.